I'm recording. Hi, Rachel. It's just you and me right now.
Uh, Hi, Mayana. How are you?
I'm fabulous. Fabulous.
Good,
Yeah.
good, good.
I actually had a timing thing where I mistyped the timing. I said it was 11 Eastern and, and 7 Pacific, and it's 10 Eastern and 7 Pacific. So we'll just do our best here.
Same, same. Timing's all out. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We have more coming though. Yeah.
Oh, yay.
Yeah. And we just had a call 7 a.m. East Coast time, and that was really wonderful. I really enjoyed it. This call I feel like is more about listening to the members. So I do hope we get more, but I'll start out just by listening to the two of you. Um, Yeah, I'm just in a listening space right now. So Rachel, what would you like to share in this moment?
Oh, wow. Um, I'm not used to this at all. I've opted out of a lot of social media stuff. So this is all very new to me. Um, and I'm just learning from everybody. And yeah, so sharing my heart. Well, we've spoken before. My heart's for the children, and getting. I think I'm seeing a mobilization in a kind of like in vision form, a mobilization of the people of the world to come together and continue to do a lot of exactly what they're already doing, I think, um, but also the coming together and the finding the ways to come together to heal our beautiful Mother Earth, and finding those. I think very much about what I'm learning is it's very much about us all being being and finding um, that place and that strength, that higher truth or higher power, or however we name it, and from that place finding um, the our own hearts and what causes us joy and excitement. And I think that those things are going to be the things on an individual level that will the ignite the planet, ignite Gaia, uh, assist. I feel teeny tiny because we're talking about the planet healing, and coming together to be part of that. Humanly speaking, I've got a lot to say, but on a higher level basis, I'm brand new to all of this, so I'm just trying to keep listening. And yeah, it whoa, it's huge, it's huge. Whoa, and I'm blown away. I'm blown away. I love it. I felt so connected, connected to source all the time, and the more I um, remove myself from the matrix, Mayana, the more I remove myself from the matrix, the more connected I feel, and that's happening. Um, and I want I don't know what to just keep talking or whether
No,
to go back
no,
to
no,
you.
that's good. That's good. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Hello, Kathy. Would you like to share your heart for this moment? And you are muted. Yeah.
Um, I'm glad I found this group. I'm feeling, hi, I'm
Hi.
feeling called to a lot of intercessory um, things right now. I have a little group, very small group, and we're doing group intention for the US elections, very neutral, but we're holding the same intention on Monday morning and Wednesday evening for peaceful, fair, and honest elections in the US, and putting forth some other characteristics that we would like to see in a candidate. So I'm doing that. And I also found another group, a very new group called the Founding Mothers, um, online, and I've joined that. So I offer that, Founding Mothers, I think it's .com or
I
.world
think
or
it's
something. I can't
.org.
remember now.
Oh, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not sure. Laura George in
yeah,
Independence, Virginia, just 2 hours from me, is
yeah.
doing. We're in the same region. So, yeah,
Awesome. That's very awesome.
yeah,
So you can go to the Peace Pentagon there, and if you want to.
yes, yes. We have been there. Yes,
Oh,
yeah, we have been
wonderful.
there and stayed with her and seen her work. And being just 5 hours from Washington D.C. I know the vision is for getting retreats and having people come and learn for the
Mhm.
political interns and the Capitol Hill staff to have retreats and learn about waging peace as much as we wage wars. Um, we have heard it said. Yeah.
So I'm I'm doing those things. I'm looking for opportunities um, to join my energy with others, and especially I think women. I think it's time for. I think this is the time for women, because in our hearts we don't want women to stay down, and we don't want men to have to wage war anymore. We don't
Right.
want our sons to, I mean, for all the bravado and the how honorable it is, it's not. It's damaging to everyone.
Right.
Um, so yeah, so that's about it. I'm just looking for ways to, um, like I said, join my energy with others of like mind and intention to bring about healing of the planet and the people, bring about healing of humanity, take us up the next level.
Wonderful. So with the Global Grandmothers Council Network, we are in such a beginning stage of forming the structure that we can move forward with. We've grown from 1,600 people to 31,500 in like 6 weeks. So, so 6 or 8 weeks. So we are looking at now forming strategic planning. How can we come together with all of our wisdom and strategically plan how to meet the needs of our grandmothers and give our gifts to the world? And right now is the time. We need action, but we have to have united and purposeful action. So for that, I think we're going to try to come up with an online retreat this month in
Awesome.
July, where we can do some strategic planning and really focus on who are we as a group and how do we want to move forward and what action items can we take that are um, effective and nurturing. One thing we need to do as a group is preserve the wisdom of our grandmothers. We have a lot of wisdom that whenever a grandmother dies, we lose that wisdom forever if it hasn't been shared. So we want to find ways, and I know like the University of Utah has been gathering indigenous wisdom for many, many years and the stories, gathering their stories. And I was working with a private school in Park City, Utah, Another Way School. It was a little Montessori based on Native American principles that, whenever there's a challenge, there's always another way. And I was a consultant restructuring the school, and then in COVID, a second time finding a way to have a program for kids during COVID, we created an outdoor program. And my vision for an educational model or a curriculum, I don't know if people remember the SRA Reading Lab. It was It's now a part of Hooked on Phonics, where
Yeah.
kindergarten through 12th grade, you read a story and answer the questions. So what it teaches is reading comprehension. And there were some moral lessons within the stories. They were very dated, you know, it was the 1970s that it was created. I want to create something like that with indigenous wisdom and have the English version and the indigenous language both on the same thing. So we can all learn these other languages and bring our united focus together and have these moral cultural lessons instilled in children from kindergarten through 12th grade. You know, and I used the program when I was homeschooling my kids, and by the time they were in 5th grade, they had completed the SRA reading lab and could understand college level, comprehend what they were reading at a college level. So that's
Yeah.
one thing. Another thing we've been talking about is some books of poetry and wisdom. So poetry and prose of the grandmothers. Then we could have a series of books that are focused with the graces. I think there are 7 graces. Not, I don't know that teaching real well, but um, to have one grace for each book. So there's the grace of gratitude, the grace of birth, the grace, you know, different graces. So we're looking at publishing books with grandmother wisdom and just getting the wisdom out there. Yeah. Yeah, Kathy.
I think something that movements, especially women's movements, it seems to me have been lacking is organization. So I'm happy to hear that you're really wanting to come together around some central ideas and central types of action and be really organized. And that's what drew me to the Founding Mothers as well. And as for the books about the graces, I think we are lacking teaching about morals and character. But and in the past, religion kind of filled that, but it ain't working now.
No, no, it
So
doesn't.
there's a place in the Bible that says, and in the end times they called good bad and bad good, and I think that's exactly what we're seeing right now.
It
So
is.
I think a way to teach morals and good character and all of those things, I in a non-religious way is really needed and really wonderful. So yay to you for the Book of Graces. I think that's lovely.
Yeah. So, yeah, and those are just 2 ideas. And I was speaking with Audrey Addison Williams, who is one of the original grandmothers from this group formed in 2019. And she actually ran for president in 2016 and 2020. And she's a Black minister with just really strong passion and drive and wisdom. And she's the one that's helping me bring forth the strategic planning. And what we really need is a council for the group that is maybe elected by the group or by the group that we facilitate, the strategic planning group, that we have a council, because we don't want one person at the top. You know, I'm a nonprofit consultant, I'm an educational consultant, but I'm facilitating here and providing 501c3 status to the work. This is my role. And I can't do all the administration myself of this group with 31,000 people. And Michelle in Australia had brought me into it. Suzanne Lewis, the founder, is not able to participate much anymore because of her health. And it's just grown on its own. We did not advertise, we did not promote. We brought in an energetic foundation that drew people in, and then the algorithms took it over from there.
Well, I'd be willing to hear what some of your admin needs are and consider um, lending some support for that.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
we'll see. We'll see. I'm not
Uh-huh,
promising anything, but I mean,
uh-huh.
I'm more than happy to hear what's needed and and what your vision so far is for going forward. I'm new to this. I just got accepted this morning, so I have a I have a lot of catching up to do.
Well, we've grown so quickly that greeting members is a huge process. If we get 1,000 people a week, that's the admin team to be able to have a welcoming committee where we each take responsibility for when we're online, that we see who's new and we welcome them, and that we make people feel like they belong. I have an image that I've shared, and it's in the images, says "We belong," and that's we're doing hashtag "We belong." We're doing hashtag Grace Tsunami, hashtag Global Grandmothers. So those are things that will help in the social media posts. And there are other hashtags that we can add into. Oh, and we're tagging Heartist. We call ourselves Heartists at Peace Production, the nonprofit overlighting us. I'm co-founder of Peace Production. And we are Heartists. It's the art of the heart, where we come from our hearts, and every thought and intention and action is for the greater good of all. That's who we are and why we're here. And we have to, today, specifically with this 7/7 focus and doing a 777 at 7 a.m., we are right now Pacific time. The 7, it's about perfection, and it's also kind of a catalyst number. 7, it's like a little lightning bolt, and it catalyzes change. And I've been experiencing that since we made the call for this day. I have been experiencing the catalyzing effects in my life and in the lives of those around me, and seeing that. And this is what comes out of this day for the Global Grandmothers Council Network will be grander than we could imagine, because it's been a catalyst, like a culture, like a yogurt culture, or like a yeast that activates and grows and infuses every molecule of every one of our beings with the purpose and whole intention.
That's fantastic, Mayana. Fantastic. Yeah, I really lightning, something that means quite a lot to me right now. I'm finding lightning inside me, and I have no idea what it means, but it's definitely from source. So yeah, that's something I'm really connecting with. And is it Kathy we're on with?
Yes.
Kathy, yes. And Kathy, you enjoy admin work. Do you enjoy doing the admin?
Just a minute.
Do you go on?
She has to open a window. I actually am. I hope the fan is not noisy.
No.
Not at all. Oh, good, because
No.
we lost our air conditioning in this activation. Fortunately, we have a cool basement we can go down into.
Good job.
But yeah.
But yeah, even until we get Kathy back, whatever's happening. Yeah, I feel like that's what I was saying. The people that if it's from somebody's heart and they're enjoying it, then that it's going to move forward with from the heart. It's going to move forward with grace, and it's going to bounce really beautifully.
Right.
Yeah, I'm like, personally, I feel like I'm birthing my own future, and I have some idea what that means, but mainly it's just birthing. So it's a lot of deep feelings, powerful feelings. But yeah, I'm yet to find quite my place with the Global Grandmothers, but there's
okay.
only been
we haven't shown places, that we haven't shown opportunities yet, and that's part of what we're going to be bringing out, is opportunities for people to take ownership of this group, make it yours.
Yeah.
Make it your heart's passion, and with a united focus together, we will really be a powerful force.
We
Hi,
will.
Carol. Welcome. Welcome.
Good morning. How are you all?
Hi.
Wonderful. Good to see
Hi.
you.
Good to see you too.
Would you like to share your heart this morning?
I'm running a little bit late and my heart is behind me
Oh,
this morning.
would you like to wait a
However,
minute?
yeah, what you're moving and I'm not yet. But yes, I mean, I've been following along on the Facebook group and just feeling so much joy, to see how many of us are really out there and willing to do what we need to do to make things better for our children and grandchildren. And for me, I guess what I've been wanting to do is pull together a local group as well. But, I just feel so much love, you know, in this group and so much caring that it really gives me hope. I tend to get lost in the political struggles and, riding the waves and sometimes not coming up for air for a while. But yeah, I can see how we could just make such a difference just by our intention and our love.
Yeah, the political conversation. I'm really glad that that's this call, that's what we seem to be addressing. And congratulations, Rachel, there in the UK, getting such a progressive government. Yeah, was it yesterday or the day before? I think it's wonderful.
You
But
really don't want my opinion about all of that.
okay. Well, we'd like to see some progressiveness in the United States because we are at a crucial point where our country is at risk. And we are in a moment where if we don't rise up en masse, we have lost so many rights, and we don't even have the ability to regulate air pollution anymore. I mean, the Supreme Court just took that away. We have no ability for our federal agencies to do their work. The Supreme Court pulled the rug out from our whole governmental structure. And this is all part of the Agenda 2025 that the Republican Party has put out, and they are not waiting to implement it. They have been. Now, little back history for me. I was raised in fundamentalist Christianity in Idaho and Oregon, and my mother was a member of the John Birch Society. And the John Birch Society was the organization that the Christian nationalists have grown out of. And they were saying Russia was going to come in and take us over, and raised in fear about that. But I see the effects of the long-term planning. They have been planning this, what is a coup, what is a takeover of our government. It is Russian based, and the Christian nationalism and the Trump people are working hand in hand with that. And it's clear, it's evident, it's out there, it's proven. This isn't hyperbole or maybes. This is real. And
And I
yes,
have to say kudos to the Republicans and the conservatives for having this long range plan. And why didn't the why didn't the rest of us have a long range plan? Why couldn't we see what was going on? Because they've been seating the lower courts and school boards for years, decades.
right.
So unfortunately, we let them get away with it.
Yeah, Carol?
Yes, I'm right on the same page with both of you. Um, you know, I become something of a historyphile and realize that it's the American oligarchs, families here who actually financed the rise of the Third Reich.
Mhm.
And they launched a silent coup after the wars to continue in this process. So that what we're seeing now, is just finally a little more than the symptoms, because we're all feeling the poverty, we're all feeling the fear mongering, we're all feeling so much of what was being thrown at us. And yes, I agree. You have to admire their persistence and their ability to join together out of their passion and belief systems, that created this, that they created the forward motion for what's happening now.
And
You know,
that's a key point. It is their belief system, and it is the raising children in the belief system to turn off your cognitive awareness, turn off your questioning, turn off and never develop your creative intuition and questioning of what's right and real. And as the rest of the nation, there are so many different cultures and ideas that we have not coalesced. And I really feel this is what the grandmothers are called to do, is to bring us together beyond belief, beyond cultural differences, beyond anything else, to heart-based, what do we want for our children and what's good for all of us. So if we can coalesce somehow in these next 3 months around healthy conversations and action that we can take, because otherwise we will not have a free country. That's just that simple.
Would
Yes.
would you mind if I share with you the intention that my little group is coalescing around? And if anyone would like to join us, you're welcome to, or is this not appropriate?
Oh, sure. Oh, please do.
Okay. So the intention, and Carol, you weren't here for this, but I have a little intention group based on Lynn McTaggart's Power of 8. We don't always have 8, but we're going with what we've got. And so we meet Monday morning at 10:30 via Zoom and Wednesday evening at 6 o'clock via Zoom. And the intention that we're holding is the 2024 U.S. elections are peaceful, fair, and honest. All candidates are mindful that they are public servants. All candidates are committed to ethical governing, willing to negotiate, able to compromise, and govern collectively to unify our country. And each elected public servant is perfect for their position at this time. So that's what we're holding. So if anyone would like to join with that, just let me know. I don't know how, my email address is Kathy J. Pelmo, Pelmo @gmail.com. So we'd love to have more and more people join as we get closer and closer to the US elections.
Wonderful.
Kathy, would you put that in the chat so we could copy it?
Oh,
The
sure.
email address.
Sure. If I know how to do that, I'll be happy to. Let me figure it out.
Oh, okay.
There it
Okay,
is.
yeah. Okay, good.
There
Yeah,
it is. Okay.
so actions that we can take and how we can come together. I think our strategic planning, as I said earlier, we're doing a global grandmother's strategic planning sometime in July. It's just forming today out of this catalyzing 7/7 event. A strategic planning, to have the strategic planning done, so as we move forward into the next 3 months, we have collective action that we can be united about. And I appreciate the times that you've offered. I know there are some other groups that are talking about the importance of sharing our voices. You know, my I feel like part of why we're so separated is because we bought into the idea that we can't talk about politics and religion when we get together in our families,
Yes.
because they're too hard. It's too hard to talk about those things. And so we didn't learn how to talk about hard things. And if we don't learn how to talk about hard things, how can we get beyond them? And the cognitive dissonance that can arise in us when something comes at us that is against a belief system, it's real. And it causes reactions in people that they cannot hear beyond that. So we have to learn ways to communicate. How do we communicate? How do we come, instead of at those trigger points, how can we come from our hearts and find our common ground? And maybe the future for our children is a common ground, you know? Yeah, Carol?
My children in Virginia are born again Christian fundamentalists,
Uh-huh.
and they're beautiful people. And they taught me something about how to actually communicate, because I'm at the opposite end of the spectrum in terms of I'm very progressive. And the thing is, we all have common issues. Everyone cares about, safety and food and the environment and the well-being of our families. And they taught me that that's the way to connect with anyone from any ideology.
Right.
So that was very helpful. And I don't know, I'm sure you all know that, but it just reassured me that there is, something that we can work with to really help people.
Yeah. And, and having been raised in the fundamentalist Christianity and evangelical, I know what scriptures they use. And I know what those scriptures really mean. And I know what other scriptures are that are not that. That how, it's one of the passages says that the debater of this age, they wrangle words to the ruination of the hearer.
Mm.
And that's what's happening in our political system. Words are being wrangled. They are being misused and distorted, and lies are put up as truth, and truth is put up as a lie. And people don't know what to think. They say they don't know what to believe, and it's not about belief, because beliefs will change. When a new information comes, you can change a belief.
Yes.
But if you, I've learned that in my heart, when I go into the depths of my heart, I will know what I know when I know it. Otherwise, I don't know anything. But if I need to know something, I will know it, and nobody can take that knowing away. And that's, I think that's what the Christian Gnostics were teaching in the early centuries before the church was created by the governments. And yeah, that's a whole nother message about that.
It's a beautiful one too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I have a sister who's gone to the dark side. and I've been trying very hard, a couple of things. She, out of a sincere heart, wants to help me see the truth, even though her truth isn't true. And so I have to remember that she's being just as sincere as I am. But two things have really helped me communicate with her, and one is not to take anything personally. Don't take it personally. And the other thing is I ask her questions. Why does that bother you so much? Or, oh, well, that's interesting. Why do you believe that? Or, I hadn't heard that before. Tell me more. What sources have you found for that? And by asking questions, I'm giving her an opportunity to explain herself, but it also causes her to stop, and she doesn't really know what the foundation is for some of this. So maybe, and she will get irritated with me when I ask her questions like that. But we just go on from there. And our common ground is Scrabble. So we play a lot of Scrabble together.
I love Scrabble.
But anyway, I offer that up. I have found that, and she's fundamental Christian. It was funny. I started out fundamental Christian, prayed all my siblings into fundamental Christian. They stayed there. I moved on to Buddhism. And yeah, and so it's
Yeah.
like, whatever. And my sister has said to me before, what happened to the sister that I knew who loved Jesus? I said, I have no problem with Jesus. I still love Jesus. So, but
He's
they
my
don't.
brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's our
But
brother.
yeah, yep. So anyway, I just offer that up as something that's been helpful for me in being able to communicate with my sister. Although I'm getting ready to say to her that I would like our relationship to be a sister relationship. And in order to do that, because we do have differing views, perhaps it's not wise to spend a lot of time trying to convince each other of the rightness of our views. Let's just
Yeah.
throw that out, play Scrabble, and have some fun.
Yeah, Carol.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just thinking, so often people confuse Christianity with the Christian nationalist movement. One is religion and can be pure of heart. The other is purely political, and I'm not so sure of the driving force behind it. It just seems like, I don't like to use the term dark forces behind it, but for lack of a better term, I think you all understand, what I'm saying. And it's so sad to me to see a couple of people I know who work with me on my Bernie campaign way back when have gone that way. And they don't see, they think this is their savior. And it's all fear-based. It's I'm afraid, so therefore.
They have you, and I ran for county commissioner in Southern Oregon when I was there. And the parties were, both of them were using fear as the tactic to get their point across.
Yeah.
And I saw it, I called it out, but that's how fear is a great motivator. How can we use love as a greatest motivator? Like, during the pandemic, it was fear that went viral. And we got a little bumper sticker that we created and said, make love go viral. What do we need to do for our love to be more powerful than that fear? So that's a question.
Well, I think you're doing it, Mayana. You're doing it. You're doing it. But we're in the baby stage, aren't we? And
Yeah.
I think, I was saying earlier, I think, I'm birthing for me, for my future, whatever that means. And I think a lot of people will be. And I also know that a lot of people are already fulfilling their life purpose. And because it's coming from their heart, it's already creating a lot of good. And what you are creating here is a space to, as somebody alluded to earlier, to organize it, to mobilize it, to bring it all together, to bring it all to fruition. That's what I'm seeing. You're doing it. Yeah. So it's details, and not getting lost in the devil in the details, I believe. But I do know that you touched on politics, and my background is at 16 I was utterly convinced that they were all lying, and my choice was I won't be voting for those people because I think they're all lying. I would, however, chain myself to the railings if I didn't have the vote, but that's been my choice. And I've been the least political person that I know in my whole life, and people have shot me down in flames for that. They really have. But I feel what's happening now, nearly 40 years later, is my eyes have been opened during the pandemic. I've done a lot of research about a lot of stuff. My views on politics haven't changed at all. I've literally come to the same conclusion having done a lot of research. But what I have realized is that there's a much bigger agenda, for the sake of words, let's call it good and evil. And I believe we've won. The good have won. I believe it's done. I believe it's over. And now what's happening is a fallout. There's a fallout in a bad way, but the bigger fallout and what is happening, and this is part of it, is the good stuff is falling out and the good stuff is coming together. And it is. And it's going to be amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, and here in the US, I think we have a grand opportunity to restructure. The education department has been failing, and there was a lot of it that Betsy DeVos destroyed from within when she was head of the education department. They're now trying to repair some of it, but there needs to be a whole new agenda and a whole new conversation of how do children learn. And we need to meet children where they are and teach them how to be a human, how to be a member of a society, how to give and receive, and how to explore what's their desire to learn, and provide all of those opportunities that they need to master their own self and their own gifts to the world. And that has not even been a consideration in our corporate school system. And that as an educational consultant, that's what I have seen the most troubling. I love our teachers, but they're not necessarily trained in a way that's healthy. Our classrooms are not healthy experiences for children. The playgrounds are very traumatic. The needing to sit at a desk for 8 hours a day is the antithesis of how a child learns. So for me, we are here global grandmothers. We need to counsel the education department. We need to be able to go in at the federal level to the department heads and say, hey, let's restructure this so the dollars of the education system go to the classroom first. And let's have administration that supports that fundamental necessity of teachers being paid and classrooms having the resources they need to bring children up. And this is the future generations that we're talking about. 7 generations in the future. What steps can we take for this generation? We may have some lost generations here in between. There are some young adults and mid adults who are actually, their kids are waking them up and saying, oh no, this needs to be a different way. And during the pandemic, people learned that, wow, I can teach my kids at home, and that is an option sometimes for people. I did public, private, and homeschooling for mine, whatever was needed at the time. But if we could have a system in place that really supported children and youth and provide, like we've been hearing about college and apprenticeship programs and trade school, that should all be free, just like other countries do. That should be free. Their education should be free, and it should be a high quality. And if we weren't funding so much to the war machine that's never even audited, that never has to even declare what they're spending their money on, we could do good things. So.
I guess I've been talking too much this morning, maybe, but Mariana, do you think perhaps the they're so afraid of our children being well educated. You know, I have two thoughts going at the same time, but a well-educated population is, you know, works against what their goals are in some ways. But I also feel like our education system right now is teaching to the average, whatever the average is. And I can't help thinking about how many of us were programmed from early on to fit, you know, in certain roles that are acceptable by society.
Right.
You know, and so many of us had to create a persona that could survive and exist in that paradigm.
Yes.
You know, and I'm learning more and more how many of us have said no. No, that is not humanizing, that's dehumanizing. You know,
Yeah, I
even
think
I'm sorry, I was just going to say, even the onset of so much AI all of a sudden right in our faces is another dehumanizing effect, really. But, but Mariana, do you think that private education or homeschooling would solve some of those problems about children who are made to fit in no matter what or who they are?
no, because homeschooling doesn't provide the child with enough outside experience. Parents are not enough for a child. We need a whole community. And the child needs their aunties and uncles, and they need to be not programmed in a belief system. They need to learn what information will help them be a whole being. And private schools are funded privately, and they have their agendas and their curriculums, and usually that's not healthy either. So that, you know, you can become an elite through a private school. You know, so, now the little school I worked with in Park City, it was really sweet. Yeah, that kind of school, that kind of private school, yeah, sure. Let a child go talk to the horses when they're upset. If there's a
Oh,
challenge on the playground, bring the kids together and hear what they think the solution should be. You know, that kind of education works. And how to do that mass scale would be a question for some really good retired educators to bring to the forefront, who've seen everything that doesn't work and has some good ideas about what could work. And the restructuring of the systems has to happen at the top, and it has to change from within, because right now it's top guided, and it has to take that control at the top and return it to the bottom, to the classroom, where the grassroots, everything that's growing now has to be grassroots. We have to rise up from earth. We're growing up through earth. This top-down model doesn't work anymore. So as these structures are falling around us, it can get changed from the inside. And the only way to change it from the inside is to go inside and make the changes. And that's why we have to elect people and get people in those positions of power in the departments who have wisdom and can come from their hearts. So, yes, Rachel?
Yeah. Yeah, ground up, 100% ground up. I think there's something very much about working from our hearts, doing what we enjoy. As we do what we enjoy, we're just going to be spreading out the actual giftings rather than these imposed giftings that somebody said about, you know, we were told to be this, that, and the other, you know. And for me, I've only come across two global things that have really resonated with me in my heart, and Global Grandmothers is one of them. And you'll be aware already, Mariana, the Global People's Monetary System is the other. And so all right to talk about that? Oh, bless you.
You can just tell briefly the link about it, but don't go into detail. Yeah.
No, that's fine. Yeah, so the concept is under the umbrella of do no harm, similar to the Ubuntu's philosophy. So the Ubuntu's, I can only be happy if everyone is happy, which I love, and we're all one. So the goal is to create a new, and well, you know, in our new fifth dimensional Earth, to create a new environment which sees everyone benefit from love, respect, abundance, and freedom, and to eradicate evil from the planet by removing the mechanisms which conjure up evil and maintain it. So it frees up the clean energy, the free energy, the clean air, fresh food, fresh water, and saves, you know, removes the kind of suffering from us all, because we would have abundance. So it's called gpms.world. I'll put it in the comments. And the concept is that we do what we enjoy doing, and it will, you know, create you're all talking about, but outside of the old structure, and creating a new one, but with enough people. We create a sovereign nation, and if we are a sovereign nation, structures.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thanks, Carol.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's so much we can do. Little actions we can take in our own lives every day, choices we can make, choices with how we spend our time, how we spend our money, how we serve, and how we love. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for your dedication to this work and your support of it. And we will come out soon with information about a strategic planning to help us organize a little bit better, because you know this 7/7, there are three more events today. There are 2 private Zoom events that are on the event page, one with Audrey Addison Williams and the other one with Deborah Loshbaugh. So you're welcome to join into either one of those also. And the 7/7 is the catalyst, and we will do this again similarly for 8/8, and it's actually 8/8/2024, which is another 8, so it's 8/8/8. And you know, my first public ceremony was 8/8/08. My beloved's first fundraiser was 8/8/88, where he did Artists for Peace and had a big event in LA at a huge place. So 8/8 is kind of special, and it's infinity, and it's abundance, and it's movement. So between now and then, we're going to have a lot of structure come in. So 8/8, we can launch something wonderful.
Thank you, Mayana. It's
Yeah.
wonderful. It's wonderful to be here.
Much love
Thank
to you.
you. Thank you, Mayana, and your sisters who have created this beautiful space. So
Yes.
grateful.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I thought
And-
Michelle would be here, but she's not here in this one. It's the middle of the night in Australia, so and she already did too. So
Would you pass on love and bliss to Suzanne? I have a raw heart for that. That's yeah, and she's not
Absolutely.
able to join. I'm you know, relatively young, I guess, and I'm feeling it. I'm not very well, so I really appreciate, bless her.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I will tell her. Yeah.
Thank you.
Much love. Bye for now.
Bye. Bye.